We have lost a national treasure, Miss Connie Francis, one of my dearest friends and someone who promoted and sang my songs absolutely out of the atmosphere. That voice will always be in our hearts. And those songs, I'm so proud I shared that with Connie Francis. Fallen, Frankie, and Where the Boys Are. Oh, we used to hang out in Brighton Beach. We used to go to the cinema. We used to sing on the boardwalk in Brighton. And it was surreal. She was the top female vocalist, and to get records by her is something. And I want to play one for you, but I'm very, very down, so I'll make an attempt at this. It's a song I wrote. Oh, darling, easy to me softly. Easy, baby, as you break my heart. Bring me down slow, bring me down slow. If you're gonna tear my world apart, bring me down slow, bring me down slow. Easy, baby, as you break my heart. Thank you so much.
The music stopped Friday morning in Los Angeles, but the melodies will play forever. Neil Sedaka, the legendary singer-songwriter whose voice defined two distinct eras of American pop music, has died at the age of 86. From the innocent sounds of the late 1950s to his triumphant 70s comeback, Sedaka gave us songs that became the soundtrack of our lives. This is the story of a boy from Brooklyn who conquered the world with nothing but a piano, a voice, and an endless supply of unforgettable melodies. Friday morning, February 27th, 2026, began like any other day. But around 8 a.m. Pacific time, paramedics responded to an emergency call at Sedaka's Los Angeles area home. TMZ reports that Neil wasn't feeling well and was rushed by ambulance to a local hospital. The L.A. County West Hollywood Sheriff's Station confirmed deputies assisted the fire department on the medical request call. Hours later, the devastating news arrived. Neil Sedaka had passed away. Our family is devastated by the sudden passing of our beloved husband, father, and grandfather, Neil Sedaka. His family said in a statement posted to his Instagram account, "A true rock and roll legend, an inspiration to millions, but most importantly, at least to those of us who were lucky enough to know him, an incredible human being who will be deeply missed." No cause of death was immediately released, leaving the music world to mourn a legend whose departure came far too suddenly. He is survived by his wife of 64 years, Liba, whom he married in 1962, his daughter Dara, a TV and radio vocalist, his son Mark, a screenwriter, and 3 grandchildren. Neil Sedaka was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1939 and raised in Brighton Beach, a neighborhood that would later honor him by renaming a street Neil Sedaka Way. Music wasn't just in his blood, it was his lifeblood. As he once told The Guardian in 2012, "Music is so much a part of me. My parents told me that when I was an infant, I wouldn't eat unless the radio was playing music." A local music teacher recognized young Neil's extraordinary talent and urged his parents to buy him a piano. The investment paid off spectacularly. At just 9 years old, Neil earned a scholarship to prestigious Juilliard School in New York, where he attended both the preparatory program and college, studying classical piano with dreams of becoming a concert pianist. But fate and rock and roll had other plans. At age 13, Neil befriended his 16-year-old neighbor, Howard Greenfield. Together, they began writing songs, the start of a songwriting partnership that would last more than a decade and sell 40 million records between 1959 and 1963. In 1956, Sedaka was briefly invited to audition for a place at the Tchaikovsky Conservatory in Moscow. However, the invitation was rescinded when Soviet authorities discovered that his name was associated with writing American capitalistic rock and roll. Classical music's loss was pop music's gain. Neil Sedaka and Howard Greenfield set up shop at the legendary Brill Building in Manhattan, the songwriting factory that also nurtured the careers of Carole King, Sedaka's high school sweetheart, Neil Diamond, Paul Simon, and Burt Bacharach. It was here in these cramped offices filled with pianos and ambition that the soundtrack of a generation was written. Their first major success came in 1958 when Connie Francis recorded their song for her. The song became a massive hit, establishing Sedaka and Greenfield as hitmakers. Soon after, Sedaka secured his own recording contract. Between 1959 and 1963, Neil Sedaka became a teen idol. His own performances of songs he wrote with Greenfield dominated the pre-Beatles charts. In 1959, he released a lament for his high school girlfriend, Carole King. That song reached number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. The following year brought another massive hit, and 1961 delivered yet another classic about turning 16. From 1959 to 1962, Sedaka had 10 records in the top 10. His songs reflected teen innocence with their doo-wop influences and upbeat melodies. As Sedaka once joked, when we ran out of words, we'd use a doo-be-doo. But his biggest hit came in 1962 with a song about the pain of separation. The up-tempo version went to number 1, selling over 25 million records worldwide and earning him his first Grammy nomination. Then came 1964 and everything changed. The Beatles arrived in America and suddenly the Brill Building sound seemed old-fashioned. The British invasion, followed by psychedelic and protest music, pushed Sedaka and his contemporaries off the charts. Between 1963 and 1975, I worked very little, Sedaka once admitted. The Beatles had come to New York and changed music. All the solo singers were out of work. Sedaka would later describe this period as 13 years in the wilderness. His label dropped him. He discovered that his manager, who was also his mother's boyfriend, had squandered his savings. He was nearly broke, forgotten, and struggling to find his place in a music landscape that had passed him by. I missed it with a vengeance, he told the New York Times last year. I listened to the radio and thought, what do I have to do? No more of the tra-la-las and do-be-dos, which I was the king of. But Sedaka refused to give up. He continued writing songs for other artists and waited for his chance to return. That chance came from an unexpected source, Elton John. The British superstar, who had been profoundly influenced by Sedaka's music, was starting his own label, Rocket Records, and he wanted Sedaka to be one of his first signings. It was the comeback of the century. In the mid-70s, working with a new writing partner, Philip Cody, Sedaka topped the charts again with songs that showcased a more mature, sophisticated sound. In 1974, he released a joyous soft rock song about rain. In 1975, he achieved something rare in music history with his signature hit. He re-recorded it as a slow ballad, and that version also hit number 1. The same song, 2 completely different arrangements, both chart toppers, a feat almost no one else has achieved. That same year, he wrote and performed another number 1 hit, this one with Elton John on backing vocals. And Captain and Tennille took his song to the top of the charts in 1975, making it one of the biggest hits of the decade. Between his 2 eras of success, Sedaka had 3 number 1 hits, 9 top 10 hits, and 30 songs on the Billboard Singles Chart. 11 of his albums made the Billboard 200, with his 1975 album, The Hungry Years, reaching number 16. While Sedaka's own performances made him famous, his songwriting made him legendary. He wrote hits for an astonishing array of artists across multiple decades. For Connie Francis, he wrote not only her first big hit, but also another massive song. For Rosemary Clooney, Patsy Cline, Engelbert Humperdinck, The Carpenters, and Cher, he crafted memorable hits. He collaborated with ABBA in 1973 to write English words for their hit. He worked with Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, Tom Jones, and Clay Aiken. His songs have been covered by everyone from the Fifth Dimension to Nickelback, proving their timeless appeal across generations and genres. In 2024, he partnered with Primary Wave Music to acquire a stake in the masters and publishing rights of his entire catalog, encompassing everything he wrote, performed, and penned for others. Neil Sedaka wasn't just an American star. He was a global phenomenon, understanding the power of international markets long before most artists. He frequently recorded his songs in multiple languages. Over his career, he released tracks in Italian, French, Spanish, German, Portuguese, and Japanese. In a 2010 interview with Billboard, he He credited his Spanish-speaking grandmother and his love of Tito Puente's performances at New York's legendary Palladium Club. I still have that in my blood. Even in his 80s, Neil Sedaka never stopped performing or connecting with fans. During the COVID-19 pandemic, he proved remarkably adept at navigating social media, recording and sharing performances from home. He continued posting on TikTok and Instagram, sharing both new clips and archival footage. This past Valentine's Day, a video of him playing his first hit was viewed more than 338,000 times on TikTok alone. I think the reason I've been around so long is I've always been able to raise the bar, reinvent Neil Sedaka, and to develop and grow. He said in a 2020 interview, "It's still very gratifying to hear my music played on the radio. The songs will outlive me." Throughout his career, Sedaka received 5 Grammy nominations. He was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1983 and received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1978. He received the Sammy Cahn Lifetime Achievement Award and a special international award from the Ivors. Despite a fan petition drive, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame eluded him, a glaring omission that many consider one of the Hall's greatest oversights. He also made numerous television appearances, serving as one of Saturday Night Live's first musical guests and appearing as a guest judge on American Idol during its second season on Fox, where he famously praised Clay Aiken. News of Sedaka's death prompted an outpouring of tributes from fellow musicians. His high school sweetheart, Carole King, wrote on Instagram, "Neil Sedaka was so talented, and he inspired me to follow my dream of being a songwriter. With love and gratitude and condolences to his family." The Monkees' Mickey Dolenz posted, "I was very sorry to hear about the passing of Neil Sedaka. Neil was one of those rare songwriters who could do it all." Neil Sedaka's career spanned more than 6 decades, from the post-Elvis, pre-Beatles era through the psychedelic 60s, the soft rock 70s, and into the digital age of TikTok and Instagram. He survived changing musical tastes, financial ruin, and years in the wilderness to come back stronger than ever. "You have to prove yourself each time," he once said. "You have to raise the level of Neil Sedaka. You have to top yourself." And he did, again and again. The creative mind never stopped working. The melodies never stopped flowing. The joy never stopped spreading. Today, we say goodbye to Neil Sedaka, but his music will play on in the hearts of those who danced his songs in the 50s and 60s, in the souls of those who found comfort in his 70s ballads, and in the ears of new generations discovering his timeless melodies on streaming services and social media. As he prophetically said, "The songs will outlive me. They will, Neil. They absolutely will. Rest in peace, Maestro. Thank you for the music, the memories, and the magic. Breaking up may be hard to do, but saying goodbye to you is even harder.